there are a couple of features that have been added over the years to Visual Overview trend components. In this first example, I want to highlight two of them. I already have this set up, and as you can see here at the top right, we have some special buttons shown here. These are actually defined in Visio as separate shapes. They have a command shape data, which is set to set trend range for all of them. And then each of them have the command parameter range set to a certain value. So if I want to see the last month, I will use month, case week, and then day. Now what this does is eventually it links to the trend graph. It will send a command from Visio, being the set trend range command. The trend graph will catch this and will execute that command on its trend graph itself. So if I click last week now, it navigates to the last week of data. So that's one feature. Another is the one you see on the bottom left of your graph or of your visual overview here, is when we hover over the graph, we can see that we have the timestamp where we're currently hovering. And also we can see the value of the CPU trace, so the blue line. Right here we can see the average, the minimum, and the maximum value for that time slot. How do we do this? Well, just like our trend graph can listen to session variables to, for instance, set its parameter shape data from a session variable or something, we can have session variables set from the trend graph. So in this example, we have the variable time that is set from the trend graph displayed right here. We have an average value displayed right here. You need to, of course, define them in your trend graph itself. We do this with the set variable or set var shape data. We want our value trace to be linked to the variable with name average, or AVG for short, minimum trace to min, etc. So that way we can visualize them here and also index them if we have multiple parameters on one graph. A third feature I want to show is a way to filter the amount of available elements. So let's say you have an operator that only needs to see a certain service, or you want to make it easier for yourself in a certain visual overview context to only see a certain amount of elements. For that, you can use the filter shape data on your component shape, set the property, then a colon, then define your property name, which in our case is class, and then what the value needs to be, so equals gold. If we take a look at Cube, we can find our properties for our elements in the right-click menu here, go to Custom, and then we can see, for instance, here we have a class property set to gold. And the result of this entire thing is that when we take a look at the filter right here, and we try to add a parameter, this dropdown will contain only those elements for which the property class is set to gold. So as a comparison, we only have 3 elements here. If we take the full list from here, for instance, you can actually see that there's a lot more. But none of them have the property class set to value gold. The final feature I want to set up with you is a very interesting one. So sometimes you have a situation in which you have a certain amount of entries in your table. So let's say our task manager table from earlier. We have our memory usage for each process trended. And we want to know the trend graph for the top 3 memory usage processes. So let's say we have a problem somewhere, our DMA can't really handle the amount of memory usage anymore, and we want to see where the problem lies. Well, for that we can use the sorting feature in Visio trending. So let's go back to our Visio file itself and set this up. Just copy over an existing trend component. In this case, I want for element DMA info, I want parameter 100, which is the memory usage parameter from my task manager table. And I want a wildcard, of course, because I want a certain amount of entries to be gotten from this table. So you can define any wildcard you want. I will just take a look at all of the possible processes in my current task manager table. I don't really need any options, but what I do need is a new shape data called sort. And I need to set the order in which I want to sort. I want the highest ones first, so I will set this to descending. Then you put a comma, and then you set the amount of items you want to see. So I want to see the top 3 memory usage items. So I will set the limit to 3. Pressed enter by accident there. If I now save this, and I take a look at page 6 right here, I apparently made a mistake somewhere. The syntax for the limit is not equals 3, but a colon and then 3. So that's why I'm getting too many results. There we go. Now I only have 3 parameters shown, or 3 entries from my table. And my top 3 usage processes currently are SLXML, SLNet, and the process that provides the Cassandra database. As you can see, this is a really high one compared to the other 2. So that's a very useful feature. For an overview of all of the features, of course, you can access the Data Miner help section.